Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another Total Extreme Wrestling video, of course the 2020 game and the 2020 save, the WWE, and we are in week 3 of June, so our second month, I think this might be the 7th or 8th episode, if I work out correctly, 7th it would be. I said last week there would have been NXT Takeover in your house. I totally got my weeks wrong. I edited it in, so it should have made sense for some of you, but it's actually this week. So this Sunday, NXT Takeover in your house will be dropping on the channel. So we've got another show to build up to it. We'll discuss it more there. We're going to start, though, with Monday Night Raw. And, of course, we announced so many matches beforehand. Of course, Ricochet versus Angel Garza, Samoa Joe, Bobby Lashley, Charlotte versus Asuka, Rey Mysterio will return. It's a big show. We've got a lot planned. Not like a big show, like it's a big show, but it's a big Raw. So let's get on with it. Monday Night Raw opens up with a really long match. We open up with something we announced last week. Seth Rollins taking on Montez Ford. And I thought, you know what? Let's give this time. Let's go back to Monday Night Raw having classic matches. And I gave it 27 minutes. I wanted to see how Seth would do against someone not near him on popularity, Montez Ford, whether he could carry him to a great match. And he did. A 76 rated match here, so that's a sort of 3.5 star match. They had 27 minutes. Seth, of course, goes over. The pedigree does the business. Seth Rollins 79. That's his pop. Montez Ford 53. Probably slightly lower, actually. But a 76 rated match is really, really good. And if we have a look on the sort of penalisations, it's about what you'd expect. Tyson Kidd did well. Great start to the show. Really great start. Afterwards, the Disciples start to beat down the Street Profits. Of course, with Montez Ford down after the pedigree. Angelo Dawkins doesn't stand a chance. Seth Rollins is there getting involved as well. And Eric and Ivar, the Viking Raiders, rush down and make the save for 60. So a good segment. A really good segment for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Using Seth to help the Disciples in their storyline helps the heat, is what I'm thinking. Seth has got his own storyline going on, which we'll get into later, but using him here might just boost the heat, so really good stuff. It's then announced the Raw Tag Team Championships will be on the line at the pay-per-view. Backlash will see the Viking Raiders take on the current champions, Buddy Murphy and Shelton Benjamin, the Disciples. It's Viking Raiders and the Disciples for the tag straps at Backlash. Pretty good match here. Kevin Owens defeats Austin Theory in about 16 minutes. The pop-up powerbomb doing the business for KO. 63 performance from Kevin Owens is pretty good. 56 from Austin is okay. It holds in there to get the 64. Like I say, really good match. 3-star match. It's what you would be very happy with these two. Kevin Owens benefited from being a really good babyface as well. So we're going to boost the AJ Styles storyline, which we then get to, because Kevin Owens sort of He's made a challenge over the last few weeks, and as AJ Styles makes the entrance for his match, which, oh look, the AJ is after Kevin Owens, what a shock. It's scripted that way, of course, but Kevin Owens sort of reiterates it again. Me versus you at the pay-per-view, put that briefcase on the line. You're all talk, let's see if you can back it up. And AJ says, no, absolutely not, you don't deserve it. Get out my ring so I can have a match. 68 for the segment is okay for these two. They could do better. AJ's match, though, was brilliant. A 77 rated segment. He defeats R-Truth in just under 11 minutes. Pretty good. AJ 79, R-Truth 54. A good win for AJ Styles. Puts him over big time. And after the match, though, with Kevin Owens still at ringside, Kevin Owens attacks for an 86 rated segment. Wow. That's done really well. I want to talk you through it. It's a little bit different than that. Basically, Kevin Owens runs in and locks on. Basically, Kevin Owens runs in and sort of locks in some sort of submission hold. Whether it's the crossface. I'm not quite sure what submission hold would suit Kevin Owens the best. Comment. Please let me know what you think would suit Kevin Owens. And we can sort of insert that into storylines in the future. I think he'd do well with this sort of submission move in his arsenal. But so Kevin Owens locks in this really painful looking submission, and keeps saying to AJ, let me have the match. Give me the match. Give me the match. Give me the match. Similar to CM Punk and Alberto Del Rio for Survivor Series 2011. It's what I've got in my head. And AJ has no choice. In the end, he says, fine, you've got it. And an 86 rated segment is really, really good. The announcers then really hype it. At Backlash, these two will go one-on-one. AJ Styles puts his Money in the Bank briefcase on the line. Will Kevin Owens become Mr. Money in the Bank, or will AJ Styles hold on? We'll find out at the pay-per-view. Becky Lynch cut a promo on Charlotte Flair for 72. Really good promo from Becky here. Really, really good stuff. She sort of says, look, I was happy to take on Asuka, but here comes Charlotte once again, the blonde Barbie. Well, we know how much this company loves putting Charlotte Flair in title matches, but you know what? You know how much I love beating her. So if she wants the shot, she can have the shot. If Asuka wins the shot, she can have the shot. I don't care. All I know is I want to put this title on the line against the best. So we'll see who comes out. We will see who wants to take a shot at me. 72 for a really good Becky promo, actually. Then the return of Rey Mysterio. I angle wrote this, and as you can see, I still don't understand it. It's not coming up any information. Please help. Please help. I'm confused. But I'll talk you through it. It's a segment rating 53, but whatever. We'll go through it. Basically, Rey Mysterio makes his entrance, and he gets on the mic and he says, thank you. Thank you for the sort of applause and the pop he'll get. And he says, look, I've had a few weeks at home. I've been recuperating from my injuries. I've been recuperating from what Bobby Lashley did to me, and I've been able to think. I have not been anywhere near the Rey Mysterio that inspires you kids, that inspires you people. I need to be better. I don't know if I have it in me. He's starting to doubt himself. The older he gets, retirement isn't far away for Rey Mysterio. You've got to remember that. He's starting to doubt himself. When the music of the Messiah, Seth Rollins, hits and he gets on the mic, he says, Ray, I completely agree with you. You were a hero. I said this last week. You were a hero to me growing up, but you are nowhere near what you used to be. But I can help. I can bring the best out of you, Rey Mysterio. I can make you the superstar that you was. All you need to do is say yes. Say yes to the help. Say yes to the disciples. Say yes to the Monday Night Messiah. Seth Rollins gets on his knees, puts his arms out, and says, say yes. Rey Mysterio looks confused. He doesn't give an answer. We will stress that much. Rey Mysterio doesn't give an answer. Seth Rollins takes that and sort of says to the disciples, come on, let's go. Let's let him think about it. And that's how the segment ends. It's just an offer. Seth Rollins wants Rey Mysterio in the disciples. Will Rey Mysterio accept? I guess we'll have to find out next week. From one Latin superstar to another, Andrade, the US champion, cut a promo on Ricochet for 65. He said, last week, Ricochet, you really took me to my absolute limit. I understand that, but I won because I am the greatest United States champion of all time. Now, I understand, Ricochet, you're not exactly happy, apparently, with how it ended, but I won. I won. I'll say it again, I'll say it again, I'll say it again. I won. So I don't care if you aren't happy. I'm the United States champion. Back of the line for you, Ricochet. 65. That's ahead of Ricochet taking on Angel Garza. We piped it up last week. And it gets a 72. A really good match here. Ricochet. We put Steal the Show, and they've done their best to. Ricochet. A performance of 74. Considering Ricochet's pop is incredible. I really wish I could click on those to show you the pop, but it's like, I think it's like 65 or something like that. Really good from Ricochet. Angel Garza 57 as well. Better than his pop, it must be said. Really good. A 72 rated match. And Ricochet gets the win. The standing shooting star press does the business. An impressive win for Ricochet, who then gets on the mic and says, Andrade, I heard you. I heard what you had to say. But yeah, I'm not happy. Yeah, your victory last week wasn't worthy of a United States champion. So I have one challenge for you. One challenge. And I understand you want me to be the back of the line. And I understand if you're not man enough to step up to this challenge. But Andrade, I have one match type in mind. I have one match where I can beat you. And then beat you again. 2 out of 3 falls. At the pay-per-view. What do you say, Andrade? A 63 rated segment. That's a good challenge for Ricochet. And we'll see if Andrade accepts. Charlotte Flair was backstage cutting a promo ahead of the match against Asuka. She cuts the promo on Becky Lynch, to be fair. She's already looking ahead. She says, I'm going to beat Asuka tonight. I'm going to beat the Empress, because that's what happens. The Queen beats the Empress, and then I'm going to take on the man, and the Queen will beat the man, because Becky Lynch has always been in my shadow, and she needs to stay there. I want the Raw Women's Championship back. Becky Lynch, get out of my way. So who will win the pay-per-view shot? We'll find out now. It's Charlotte Flair versus Asuka. The winner goes to Backlash, and the winner in a 75 rated match. This has been a fantastic show. By cheating, Charlotte Flair. So let me talk you through this. They have a good long match, 19 minutes or so. Asuka 71, Charlotte Flair 63. Asuka really, really helped that. And as they're going through, Charlotte has the... Charlotte takes the turnbuckle cover off. Charlotte sends Asuka's face flying into the turnbuckle cover, blatantly cheating, but the referee was distracted by, I don't know, and you could say Charlotte takes one turnbuckle cover off, takes another turnbuckle cover off, he has to get rid of one, and there goes the face into the turnbuckle. You know what I mean? Classic old school heel stuff. And Charlotte Flair then locks in the figure four to make Asuka tap out. 75 rated segment. Charlotte Flair has won the match by cheating, and in theory, she has won the shot at the pay-per-view. I guess we'll have to find out if that's where it's going. 75 for a fantastic match. Now then, we announced two big tag team matches for next week. First up, Kevin Owens ahead of his match with AJ Styles. Of course, that's next week, week 4. So this is the go-home show for Raw we're talking about. Kevin Owens will get his hands on AJ Styles when he teams with Apollo Crews to take on Randy Orton and the Mr. Money in the Bank. Owens and Apollo versus Orton and Styles next week. But that is not all. We just saw Charlotte Flair win perhaps a number 1 contendership for the pay-per-view. Well, she may get her hands on the Women's Champion next week. It's 6-man tag action. It's Becky and the Kabuki Warriors. It'll be Becky Lynch, Asuka and Kairi Sane against Charlotte Flair, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Big 6-woman tag ahead of the pay-per-view. And finally, we can announce that next week we will see champion versus champion in the main event ahead of his big clash with Bobby Lashley at Backlash. Drew McIntyre takes on a tough test. It's the WWE champion against the United States champion, Drew and Andrade, in the main event next week here on Monday Night Raw. Speaking of main event, Drew McIntyre came down to ringside and was on commentary for the match in the main event. Now, of course, we know what it is. It's Bobby Lashley against Samoa Joe. Two big hosses going at it in the main event. In a 66 rated main event. Oh, that's not great, is it? Bobby Lashley defeats Samoa Joe. 59 from Bobby, Samoa Joe 60. The pops aren't great. Even Bobby, which is a bit annoying. But a good win for Bobby Lashley. He looks good going in to Backlash with Drew McIntyre watching on. And that's the end of the show then. A 70 rated Raw. I really feel like it would have been better if I'd have put perhaps Charlotte and Asuka in the main event. I did think about it. It was between them and Bobby, and I went with the WWE Championship storyline. I probably made a mistake. I mean, obviously AJ and R-Truth was the best match on the card, but I perhaps should have gone with Charlotte and Asuka. Okay, a change of clothes and a change of day later. We're here for main event. We open up the show with a rematch from last week. Liv Morgan getting the win back over Lana. Obviously, last week Liv was meant to win. That was a mistake on me. So we are going to do a little bit of 50-50 booking. Yeah, not great. But anyway, Liv gets the win. 51 rated match. Pretty good. Lana 54. Liv 43. The babyface goes over. We are pushing Liv going forward, or ideally. And a better performance from Liv this week compared to last week. So is that anything to do with the fact she's won the match? Probably. Anyway, you can start to show Liv really improving her in-ring game. She's sort of locking in some submissions. She's showing that she's learning, is the idea. Particularly with Paige by her side, she's trying to learn to be the best. And she's starting to show it in the matches, is the idea. 51 is fine. After the match, they're celebrating Liv Morgan and Paige in the ring when they're attacked from behind by Ruby Riott. So we're opening up a storyline between Liv and Ruby, and I just think it's the perfect first sort of foe for Liv to go through. It can be sort of lower TV stuff, maybe sometimes on Raw, but mainly main event, to be honest with you. And these two can sort of have a feud where Liv is trying to battle against her former owner, I guess is the best way to say it. Ruby Riott hates what Liv's become and wants to fix her in her own image again. Liv is not taking it. I think it'll work. But Ruby Riott gets the attack here. So 46 for the segment to open it up. She then got a promo on Liv for 44, just basically saying what I just said. She doesn't like what Liv Morgan's become. Paige has ruined her. Ruby Riott had Liv Morgan exactly how she should have been, an anarchist, someone to rise against the machine. Instead, she's just become another corporate sellout. Obviously, we know she hasn't, but that's how Ruby sees it. The United States champion Andrade was in action in a good match here, 63 against Titus O'Neil. Good chemistry between the two of them, which is interesting. Andrade 66, Titus 56, and Andrade wins with a split-legged corkscrew senton. Good stuff for 15 minutes or so. And yeah, United States champion looks strong. He then gets on the mic and cuts a promo on Ricochet. And in that promo, he talks about the fact that Ricochet's had his chance. He should be at the back of the line. But you know what? If he wants to be beaten one more time, he can. Or if he wants to be beaten 2 more times, he can. Because Ricochet, 2 out of 3 falls at Backlash. I accept. Andrade accepts the challenge for the pay-per-view, and then we see the graphic. Andrade and Ricochet at Backlash. The United States Championship will be on the line in a 2 out of 3 falls matchup. It should be, hopefully, an exciting bout between the two of them. Speaking of Backlash, AJ Styles is here. Of course, he accepted the challenge from Kevin Owens begrudgingly on Raw, and he's here to complain about Owens, the way he handled himself, and sort of saying, should it even count? The match shouldn't be allowed to happen. He was coerced into it. Yet people in this company are saying this match has to happen. It's ridiculous. But you know what? At Backlash, Kevin Owens will feel what it means to be in the ring with a phenomenal talent like AJ Styles. What I will do when I am absolutely at my best, when my survival instinct to survive as Mr. Money in the Bank is at the most high it can be. Kevin Owens, you will regret everything you have ever done. 72 for a pretty good promo from AJ as usual. Main event sees Randy Orton in action against Akira Tozawa. Orton's in a weird position where he's not really in the storyline, so we're using him on main event to get some good wins, and he hits the running punt to the head. Jesus, Akira, sorry mate, you got killed. Anyway, 69 rated matchup is pretty good. 77 from Orton, 51 from Akira. Tozawa did really well, to be fair. And yeah, pretty good main event. Good win for Randy Orton. Hopefully these two will have a good matchup. It's just a one-off, good wrestling match, hopefully, for main event. Sure. And that gives us a 68 rated main event. Pretty good. We get some storyline advancement, and we get a good couple of wins for the US champion and Randy Orton. So I can't complain too much with that. Now NXT, let's do this. I kind of messed up last week. I thought the pay-per-view was then. It's actually this week. So this is the go-home show. We get an extra week to try and hype up everything. And then we'll look at Sunday being the pay-per-view. That should be an interesting one. We're going to start the show. We open up with the contender for the North American champion, Johnny Gargano, in action. He defeated Tyler Breeze in 12 minutes. Good match between these two. I thought it would be. Two good workers. A match I'm interested in seeing actually at one point. Heel Gargano against face Tyler Breeze. Or the other way around would work too. But yeah, I think it'll be good. Anyway, Gargano 69, Tyler 52. So to get a 68 red match shows how good Johnny Gargano is. Fantastic stuff. Candice at ringside helps us out too. And Gargano gets a good win going into the pay-per-view. He then gets on the mic and cuts a promo on Keith Lee. And it says a lot of the same stuff. He understands that Keith Lee has a size advantage. But he vows, he says, on Sunday, I have an insurance policy. Let's see what that means on Sunday. Yeah. The women's champion Rhea Ripley arrived at Full Sail University, and you could see Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez sort of lurking in the background, is the best way to say it. 39 for the segment isn't fantastic, but Rhea was in action next against Candice LeRae, defeating her in about 12 minutes with a 50 rated match. Pretty good here. Both women, 47 appearance, 47 performance, and a 50 rated match. So that's pretty good for the women's division. We are trying to build them up. And yeah, so I'm not expecting a lot from the women's title match at TakeOver. It won't be anywhere near as good as they are in real life, I'll say that much. But we'll try and get there. We'll try and push it as much as we can. Speaking of that feud, after the match, she is celebrating when she's attacked by Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai tries to attack, but Rhea Ripley fights off and stands tall heading into the pay-per-view. 45 isn't fantastic. Velveteen Dream cut a backstage promo on Adam Cole, and he says, look, Adam Cole, yes, you are the longest reigning NXT champion of all time, and yes, you may even be the greatest NXT champion of all time. But that's the past. You're talking about the past stuff. Let's talk about the future. The future of this brand, the future of this company, the future of professional wrestling is Velveteen Dream. This Sunday, I take my place at the top. This Sunday, the greatest NXT champion ever is defeated, and Velveteen Dream stands tall. Pretty good promo from Velveteen Dream here. 71. Really good stuff. Really good stuff to boost the NXT Championship storyline. Speaking of the NXT Champion, he has a fabulous match. Adam Cole defeats Fandango for 74. Really good match. 77 from Adam Cole. 48 from Fandango, but Adam Cole really helping it along. And a good 15-minute match between the two of them. The NXT Champion going over, as you'd expect. And after the match, he sort of had a rebuttal for Velveteen Dream, got on the promo himself. There was a noticeable pop in the crowd when Adam Cole came out. Good, he's starting to become a star, which is what we want. His rebuttal, though, at 73 segment rating, so a really, really good week for the NXT Championship storyline. He's starting to overconfident. He's obviously called himself the greatest NXT champion of all time, the longest reigning NXT champion of all time, and he will never be beaten. He genuinely believes it. He looks overconfident. He called the match a complete waste of time, a foregone conclusion, all that sort of stuff, and he seems to be taking Velveteen Dream a little bit easy. That could be his mistake. Karrion Kross was in action for a 53 rated match with Isaiah Swerve Scott. About 10 minutes, we put Karrion Kross over. Not a squash. We want to give Scott some sort of performance. He seemed off his game, which is sad. 39 from Scott. 55 from Karrion Kross, though, is good in a 53 rated match. You can see that the more popular stars are really carrying the stuff, which is good. Scarlett Bordeaux did good work at ringside as well. After the match, Dominik Dijakovic runs down and tries to attack, but Karrion Kross has escaped. These two will go one-on-one on Sunday at the pay-per-view. 36 for the segment. It's fine. Dakota Kai was backstage, cutting a promo on Rhea Ripley for 41. That's not what it was meant to be. I've clicked the wrong thing. But she just sort of says that on Sunday you'll lose and taunts her about the loss she's going to have on Sunday. So 41 for the promo is fine. Speaking of the women's division, Tegan Nox was in action, defeating Chelsea Green in 10 minutes. 41 here as well. Pretty good. Tegan, again, like I said, the more popular star really carrying the match. 43 from Tegan. Chelsea Green, 27 isn't bad. Two future stars of the NXT women's division here. Tegan more than Chelsea Green. Tegan will be more in the limelight in the for the near future, while Chelsea Green's the far future, it seems. Good stuff. Promo here from the Broserweights, hyping up their tag team title match against the grizzled young veterans this Sunday on the pay-per-view. Riddle and Dunn hype it up for 46 before they're in action against the Singh brothers for a 58 rated match. So this is better than I thought it'd be, actually. Dunn and Riddle have good chemistry, which is good. Riddle 63, 53 from Pete Dunne, 42 apiece for the Singh brothers. Matt Riddle really doing well, and Riddle getting the win with a guillotine choke. So really good stuff for the pay-per-view. Really good stuff to build for the pay-per-view is the idea. Ahead of the main event. The main event then is Finn Balor versus Kushida. Not announced, but it's something we can hype throughout the show. And the main event, Balor and Kushida, is a 63 rated match. Not great here. Finn Balor was off his game and they didn't have chemistry, which is interesting. I thought they would. Really did. But Balor gets the victory. We seem to have got away with it with segment rating, actually. Fine. That's okay. Kushida 53. Balor 56, and lack of chemistry really stopped them. After the match, though, Ciampa came down for a confrontation and ended up getting stumped into the table, driven through the table, so to speak. Finn Balor standing tall over Ciampa. That's the scene as we go to the pay-per-view. So pretty good NXT. 69, pretty solid stuff. The NXT Championship storyline, I probably could have main event with Adam Cole and Fandango, but I just thought Balor and Kushida would be a good match. I thought that would be early 70s as well. It wasn't, which is a shame, but Cole and Fandango really did well. And earlier in the show as well, Johnny Gargano and Tyler Breeze is 68 there. He's fantastic. And so, yeah, not bad stuff at all. And as we head into the pay-per-view, I'm hoping we'll have a underrated pay-per-view, a solid pay-per-view I'm hoping for. Okay, NXT UK kicks off with Isla Dawn in action. She takes on the newest member of the women's division, Julia. And Julia gets the victory. Isla Dawn gets defeated by... Julia's a babyface, but we're going to say that Isla Dawn tries to cheat. And Julia sort of turns it round on her feet on the ropes maybe and gets the victory for a 36 rated matchup. 39 from Julia, 24 for Isla Dawn. Julia debuted her Viper gimmick and it's got a poor rating, so we might have to look at that if we can remember. So that's not too bad. Isla Dawn, frustrated is what you would say at the loss. She will be very frustrated. She then gets on the mic and wants to prove herself, says, right, Toni Storm, you've made this challenge. I'm better than this. I am the best women's wrestler on this brand, and I'll prove it. Next week, you want a match? You've got it. So there it is then. Next week, Isla Dawn and Toni Storm will go one-on-one. Of course, a big show next week. Isla Dawn and Toni Storm. And then, of course, that main event of Volta and Ilya Dragunov. Speaking of Ilya Dragunov, he cut a backstage promo, sort of sit-down interview is the idea for 35 on how much he hates Volta being the champion. Interesting, held back by the language barrier, he doesn't speak the same language, so he probably would have been subtitled, which is a bit of a shame. We could get Ilya a manager. That could be where we go next with him. 35 though is, well, not great, is it? Good stuff here though. Chris Brooks was in action after debuting and destroying Tyler Bate. Chris Brooks defeated Mark Andrews in about 15 minutes, a 54 rated matchup, so really good stuff. Chris Brooks 51, Mark Andrews 49, and yeah, really good stuff. A good win for Chris Brooks, the heel. He's then attacked though by Tyler Bate, looking for revenge for 55, hitting the Tyler Driver 97. It says backstage, but we'll say it's in the ring. And yeah, Tyler gets some revenge. These two are building up towards a match, and hopefully they will have a cracker. Backstage promo here, Eddie Dennis and Joe Hendry cut a promo on Killian Dane and A-Kid after their sort of save last week. 42 for this. Jason Jordan let me down as a road agent. I might have a look at him, see if I can change him up, which is a bit of a shame. Joe Hendry getting better with his gimmick as well. 42 for the promo is pretty good, ahead of a big 8-man tag main event. So it will be Eddie Dennis, Joe Hendry and Gallus against Killian Dane, A-Kid and the NXT UK Tag Team Champions, the Black Country Boys. And the winners are the baby faces when Killian Dane pinned Wolfgang with an Ulster plantation. Dane, Kid and the Black Country Boys go over for a 49 rated main event. So it's okay, we could have main event with Chris Brooks and perhaps that was where we should have gone. I was not quite sure about it. And of course, Trent Seven's the best worker. Killian Dane 56 as well, pretty good. 41 from Mark Coffey is not bad at all, but the rest sort of 30s is what you'd expect. Not bad, really. It's going to be interesting where we could go next with the NXT Tag Team division. Of course, you got Black Country Boys there. Killian Dane and A-Kid look like they'll be a tag team. So do Eddie Dennis and Joe Hendry. 4 teams here are sort of around the titles, which is nice. That gives us a 47 rated NXT UK, which isn't bad. It was built up from the bottom, really. And yeah, probably should have main evented with those two, and it's probably a better show then. But again, still not bad stuff. Increase our popularity in 56 regions, which is good. And yeah, good. Okay, finally we have Friday Night Smackdown. We announced some big matches for this one, didn't we? Roman Reigns, John Morrison, Jeff Hardy and Sami Zayn. But we open up with the New Day against Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode for a 72 rated matchup. Really good stuff here. And of course, the New Day go over going into the pay-per-view where they'll be taking on John Morrison and The Miz for the Tag Team Championships. Big E pinning Dolph Ziggler with the Midnight Hour. 76 from Kofi, 67 from Big E. Roode and Ziggler 54 and 60 apiece. Really good stuff. Really good start to the show. The New Day never let you down. Pop the crowd and start well. Afterwards, the Miz and Morrison proceed to taunt the New Day for 68 and the New Day run them off. Miz and Morrison were on commentary is the idea, and the New Day run them off. So 68, not as well, but pretty good nonetheless. We then see Roman Reigns arriving actually at the arena with his wife and daughter in tow. His family are here to spend the night and watch him in action. 74 for the segment, of course, the crowd would pop, but his family are here. Take from that what you will. Shinsuke Nakamura is in the ring and he's complaining about Braun Strowman flipping a car on him last week. He said he wants him stripped of the Universal Championship. Braun Strowman comes out and says, yeah, fair enough, right? No, I get it, you're upset. So how's about I got a present for you? Why don't we deal with this the best possible way? How's about this? Shinsuke Nakamura, I offer you one chance at this title again. Backlash. But it's in a street fight. What do you say? Shinsuke Nakamura nods and it's agreed. 78 for the actual segment to get the match. And then it is announced that at Backlash it'll be Shinsuke Nakamura against Braun Strowman. The Universal Championship will be on the line in a street fight. In the first of the two announced matches from last week, Sami Zayn defeats Jeff Hardy in 15 minutes for a 70 rated segment. Really good start to the show this has been. Both Zayn and Hardy were off their game, but they still managed to get a 70 rated segment. I'm not sure how that's happened for a 60 and 63, but I will take it. Zayn gets the win. Bryan was on commentary, and afterwards Daniel Bryan cut a promo on Sami Zayn saying how impressed he's been with Sami Zayn over the last few weeks. But what he will say is that at the pay-per-view, if Bryan even gets there with the championship, he will be taking on Sami Zayn no matter what. But will the championship be on the line? We'll find out over the next few weeks, with Bryan having a couple of title defences in tow. Bryan does say, though, Zayn, if you're a real man, Cesaro Nakamura won't be out there. It'll be me and you, one-on-one. 74 for a good promo. 47 for this. Mandy is backstage arriving. You can say Otis is with her when Bayley attacks Mandy Rose. Just a sort of hit and run. 47 for this. Bayley was then in action. The women's champion was in action against Naomi and defeated her for a 64 rated match. Belly to belly did it in 10 minutes. Really good stuff. 57, 56, 64. So really good stuff. The matches are working tonight. Really good stuff actually. Afterwards, for a 55 rated segment, Bayley tricks Mandy Rose into coming back out and Sasha Banks attacks. So the Boss and Hug Connection are dominant today. Harsh on Mandy Rose, but they are dominant today. We get a Firefly Funhouse segment, but it's not the usual segment you'd expect. It shows Rambling Rabbit and Abby the Witch sort of not understanding what's happening because Bray Wyatt is packing a suitcase and Bray Wyatt leaves the Firefly Funhouse. To everyone's confusion, Bray Wyatt leaves the Firefly Funhouse. 74 for the segment. Take from that what you will. We get an announcement next week. It'll be Sasha Banks against Mandy Rose. After tonight, Mandy Rose wants some revenge against Sasha and possibly take her out of the running ahead of the pay-per-view match against Bayley at Backlash. The Intercontinental Championship was on the line in what I think is the best match we've had in the save so far. Wow, Daniel Bryan defeats King Corbin for an 82. Bryan 82 really carried it. Corbin 66 isn't bad, but Bryan makes his second defense of the title, wins it in a classic, a 4-star match against King Corbin. Well done, Daniel Bryan. Well done. After the match, Sami Zayn tries to run in an attack, but Bryan hits the haluva kick. Not the haluva kick. Bryan hits the running knee to sort of knock him out of the ring and stop Zayn from attacking. 69. After the break, Sheamus enters King Corbin's locker room and says he deserves better and that they should form an alliance. So Sheamus and King Corbin seem to be on the same page, and it's announced next week it'll be Sheamus getting the shot. Sheamus and Bryan for the Intercontinental Championship just 3 days before Backlash. Not the preparation you'd want ahead of a battle against Sami Zayn, but it'll be Sheamus and Bryan for the championship next week. 72 rated segment here. I've sort of freestyled it, but what it is here is that Roman Reigns is ready for his matchup. He's ready in his locker room where he leaves his wife and his daughter, and as he's leaving, his daughter slips out the room too. His wife hadn't noticed. His daughter slipped out the room and gone the opposite way to Roman Reigns. Just being a kid, just exploring. But yeah, we'll see where that heads up. Main event time then is Roman Reigns against John Morrison. And the match itself is an 81. Smackdown have been killing it. killing it tonight. Roman Reigns 81, Morrison 67. Great chemistry as well. So this is something we could do in the future. Match was brilliant. Really good. And Reigns gets the win with the spear, of course. As he's celebrating, though, he's cut off. 79 rated segment by well, not the Fiend, but by Bray Wyatt, who's backstage. And he's there. He's outside a room in the arena, which he has put a sign on the door that says it is the Firefly Kids House. And Bray Wyatt says, Roman, good win, well done. But you said I needed to step it up. Well, you didn't say I needed to step it up, but you inferred it. You said you wouldn't give me credit. Well, Bray, well, Roman, how's about this? Let's take a look. He sort of brings the camera in through the window of the room, and there's Roman Reigns' daughter playing with a Rambling Rabbit doll with a Sister Abigail doll. And Roman is freaking out. He tries to leave the ring. Bray goes, whoa. Back in the ring. Don't even take a step. He doesn't say what the threat is, but it's inferred. And Bray says, look, she's happy. She can stay happy playing, if you like. She can stay happy. But I want something from you, Roman Reigns. Something you've wanted. I want to give it to you, and I want you to ask for it again. Reigns understands. Reigns hates having to do it, but he says, Bray, I want the Fiend at Backlash. And Reigns says, and Wyatt says, absolutely, but why don't you have him before Backlash? The lights go out, the screen goes off, the lights go out in the arena, and the Fiend is in the ring. The Fiend has Roman Reigns in the choke, in the mandible claw, and he leaves Roman Reigns out. We go off with the Fiend standing tall. Madness, because you can sort of imply that maybe Wyatt and the Fiend aren't the same people. We know they are, but it's just absolute madness is the idea. Wyatt has gone comic book villain to his best. He's gone psychotic, and really good. We get to the match. It's announced for Backlash. It will be Reigns and the Fiend. And this has been a really good Smackdown. Really good Smackdown. We'll have a look at the show rating. Is a 79. Wow. Amazing. Really good storylines. Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns. Two fantastic matches to breach the 80. I mean, good stuff all around. You take the Women's Championship out of it, that storyline, which is always going to be lower. But if you take that out of it, I genuinely think you have an 83-84 show. Amazing stuff. Okay, then before we go, let's talk about NXT Takeover in your house. So it definitely is this Sunday. I'm going to run through the card for you right now. Make sure you don't miss out this Sunday. This is what is on offer. It'll be the Clash of the Titans. Dominic Dijakovic against Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross's first pay-per-view match in NXT, and he's got a tall order. Will it be Dijakovic standing over Karrion Kross, or will the monster continue his good momentum? Kross and Dijakovic will do battle on the pay-per-view. The NXT Women's Championship will be on the line. Dakota Kai will look to take the title from the fairly new champion, Rhea Ripley. Ripley took it from Charlotte a few weeks ago, and now Kai is getting her shot, but with Raquel Gonzalez in her corner. Will Rhea Ripley be able to hold on to the gold? The NXT Tag Team Championships will be on the line. Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle, the Broserweights, defend against the grizzled young veterans. James Drake and Zach Gibson are looking to return tag team wrestling to NXT, looking to return tag team standard to NXT. And the Broserweights, well, they believe they're already the standard. The tag team titles will be decided at Takeover in your house. As will the NXT North American Championship. It's a match that happened on the pay-per-view originally. Keith Lee will defend against Johnny Gargano. Gargano has been a thorn in Keith Lee's side for a few weeks now. Two stellar in-ring workers will go at it for one of the sort of work rate titles in the company. It should be a hell of a match. Gargano has promised to win the title with an insurance policy up his sleeve. We'll see what that is at the pay-per-view this Sunday. Now then, the first of two big main events for the pay-per-view. Two stars of the brand, two former NXT champions, Finn Balor and Tommaso Ciampa. We'll see who is the better man after all. Balor has turned his back on many of his fans. Balor has turned his back on Ciampa. He believes Ciampa has sort of been one of the main reasons NXT has fell down in his eyes. He looks to return NXT back to the glory days, and the first mission for that is to take out Tommaso Ciampa. Two men who will have a wild, wild match, and of course, it will be a street fight. So we got Braun and Nakamura in a street fight at Backlash, but before that, Finn Balor and Tommaso Ciampa will do battle in a street fight. And then what will be the main event you would expect, the NXT Championship will be on the line. Adam Cole defending against Velveteen Dream. Adam Cole, the self-professed greatest NXT champion of all time, the longest reigning NXT champion of all time. But for Velveteen Dream, he says Adam Cole has never come across a man quite like him. Dream says he's the future of NXT, the future of this brand, the future of this company. And Adam Cole, you have been warned. This should be a heck of a match and a heck of a card too. So make sure you don't miss it this Sunday. NXT Takeover in your house will be dropping on the channel about 12:30 p.m. That's British summertime. So if you're watching anywhere else, it will be there this Sunday. Enjoy it. If you like this video, please like the video. We've had a really, really good episode, to be honest with you. Raw was pretty good. Smackdown was incredible. And it's been really good. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of all these videos. And yeah, I'll see you Sunday. Peace.